New week, new us. Who's doing the intro?
That'd be me.
Yeah,
Shall I crack on?
go for it.
I will. See if I care. Hello. Hello and welcome
Do
to
it
the
like
number
it's
one.
your last
Oh my
episode. Come on.
god! Hello and welcome to the No.1 Crude Mistakes podcast with myself, Glenn from No.1 Projects, KJ from Crude But Efficient, and Haavard from Behind the Mistakes.
Woohoo!
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Fine.
Tuesday, innit?
It is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is your week going all right there, Haavard?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah?
brilliant. I've got videos out and everything, and I'm playing the corporate game at work, and not sure if I'm winning yet, but I mean, by the end of this week we might know. So
How many cards do you have up your sleeve?
I have
Because
a few.
that's when it's fun to play that game.
Yeah.
None.
yeah. I just put them all down. This is what I got. Take it or leave it.
It's not even got sleeves.
He's just playing Uno at the blackjack table.
You know, I was thinking of that. I should have a reverse card in my pocket at all times, because at some point you're just like, yep, I disagree, and just slam it to the table. It would be so cool. We think that you should, and then just throw it down. Think again.
That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, Havar, last week I asked you if you're okay because you'd not done a video for 1 month, and then this week you've proved that you're okay, and you've done you sort of proved you're okay, and you've done 2 videos this week. What the hell's going on?
3 actually. I also
3?
posted one on Patreon. So,
Yes.
Yeah. I will also post that on YouTube. I was doing the edit here before you logged on, and then might post it afterwards. But yeah, well, I was shamed into getting my head out of my arse and do something, and then I sat down and looked at the edit just to try to remember where I left off, and then. Yeah, I have 3 hours worth of video here, so I mean, I got bored just trying to catch up on my own video clips. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it a day here. I chop it up and call that part 1, and then deal with the rest tomorrow. And I did, and that also was a part 2. The part 2 was so long that I needed to put in a fair warning in the middle of the first segment that this is going to be a long one, so you might just skip ahead.
I'm afraid that part 2 was so long. I went, nope. I'm not watching that one, I'm afraid. But part 1 was kind of nice.
Yeah. And to be fair, though, part 2 is basically the same as part 1. Very little progress has been made.
Over 44 minutes.
Yeah.
I was surprised at that, how little progress on that length of time.
Yeah, but I've taken my time, because I'm working with leather and glue, and then sometimes you glue your fingers together and you spend some time getting that sorted out, and then But no, I do have a sort of functioning bellows, the pump part, and then I realized this is just one good day in the workshop, and I have at least proof of concept. But then I realized, god damn it, you need that accumulator bellows, and I can't build that the way I did this one, because that needs to be a bit more rigid so you don't blow the sides out like a balloon. So I need to do the accordion thing on that one. And that was the thing I was trying to avoid, because I watched a lot of videos and it looks fairly straightforward, but it's a lot of cutting and time consuming and gluing small parts. And I don't have the patience for that. That being said, though, when you don't have patience for something, you you make yourself a deadline you can't skip. So I just registered to Skapet Festival, and then now making a video where I'm basically saying to the world, "Yep, I'm taking the Hellcorder on the road." So it needs to be done in some sense of the word.
Next month.
The end of next month, basically. So it's basically 2 months, which is an ocean of time.
We're gonna remember you've said that
Yeah.
in a month when you're crying.
I'll make a T-shirt. Ocean of time. Yeah.
Going back to the accordion style that you've got to do, is there a 3D filament that is flexible that you could sort of print that out of?
Yes. Yes. I need to look into that, how much that cost actually, and if anyone has. There's going to be a lot of weird support materials for the bellows, because I can't really see any direction it's good to print it in. But yeah, I'll look into that. If I can 3D print it, it would be done in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But what's the fun in that? And I mean, I do have the vacuum cleaner, so of course I can bring it in like a show and tell. This is the bellows system, but it's not 100% yet. So I'm using the old vacuum cleaner. So I can always hook it up and make noise. So
you can make bellows in nearly 2 months. You said, can't you?
Yes, but then again, I'm also perfectly fine of derailing myself, doing other things.
Yes.
Because I would like to bring some other things as well. To be fair, as we discussed earlier, some of them are made for YouTube, and we all know what that means. It has a good side, and it worked for 10 minutes. That's enough. If you're going to bring it for a 2-day maker festival, it should. I mean, or should it? I mean, that's the way it is. Nope, that doesn't work. Nope, that doesn't work either. And then I can just sit there with my soldering iron and see whatever I can make work while we are there.
Or just hang it on the wall and never show the bad side.
Yeah, I just put a huge "don't touch." No, but that spawned some other questions, basically, because I've attended a lot of maker fairs, but I've never had a stand. So where do you even start bringing? What should I bring? How do you bring it? I've been looking at an online marketplace for like very cheap, like flight cases. The Hellcorder needs some wheels because I'm not carrying it. And then of course I have guitar cases for the guitars. But yeah, the amplifiers, you need some tools and whatnot. And while I was looking for that, I found there is a company here in Norway that sell flight cases that has drawers in them, and you can take off a front cover and a back cover, and that folds out at the table. So it's basically a portable drawer that you can convert to a table. So it's basically a roadie's workshop.
Oh yeah.
And it was decently priced actually, and I have been looking for a tool cart and a table in my workshop, and I did some quick measurements, and this could work as both. That means that I can also just buy it. I don't have an excuse for it. I can fill it up with all the tools and everything I need, and I can just roll it in there and just set up shop very easily. And yeah, I have a place to put all the maker stickers on and everything, and then once Sunday arrives, I'll just pop it together and roll it out of there.
Plinky plonkety out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be. That's why 2 months. It's not a very long time, because that table needs modding. It needs power outlets. I did find an old disco light strobe thingy. Need that, of course. Audio reactive, and so yeah, 2 months. Go.
Cool.
So that's the plan. So I have a full calendar until end of October. So if anyone here is listening and are relatively close by, you can pop by and see some half-assed, maybe working, maybe not things, and there's going to be other proper makers there as well. So yeah.
And if
But
you want to derail Haavard in the meantime, just send him DMs of ideas of things he can do.
Yeah.
exactly.
How's the bag tar coming on? You made any progress on that?
He had forgotten about it. By the looks of it.
There it is.
Ooh.
All the parts are placed out. I just need to 3D print a box for everything. I should also do that for the Skaperfest. I'm thinking of bringing it, but it's going to be like, this is a project in the making.
Good work.
And then, of course, I saw a video here. I mean, it was I did a thing. I think it was him. Yeah, I actually used ChatGPT to program some Arduino, and I realized I've seen some programs that I need to tweak and modify to make the bag tar work. And I've kind of been procrastinating it because I'm just like a half a day away of starting the programming, and I fucking hate it. But then I realized, if I could take a program that someone else wrote, and then I can just put it in ChatGPT and say, I need this to work in that way, then I should probably be able to tweak it in just a day or two. So now I'm more positive to the world again. So yeah.
Yeah, vibe coding is probably the way to go there, but I think there's better stuff than ChatGPT to do that. Just Google vibe coding, and I think you will find some programs that work. What I've heard on other podcasts.
I also think there are coders on Fiverr, so it's like for £100, how fast can you have me this software, please? But that being said, though, the company who delivers the software for the Hellcorder,
do they have that on their website that we are proudly powering?
That's the thing, though. I know that they're working on a third iteration of the software, but it hasn't happened very much on their webpage. But I thought about sending them an email. Just, hello, very small time, extremely small YouTuber, working on this project, and I'm using your software. 2 questions. When is the newest iteration coming out? And do you want to sponsor with a license? I mean, it doesn't cost them anything to just send me a license, because now I'm using the free version. So every 5 minutes I have to press on the screen. And I would like that to not be a thing at Skaperfestivalen, but I'm not paying £100 for a license for a weekend. So we'll see.
It is a fun project, so
yeah, I mean, it is. And I mean, if we start to think of how much money I spent on it, £100 on a license, that's not going to make a dent in it. So yeah, move along. So how about you guys? Any videos out?
not for me, but Glenn had.
I did get a video out.
Oh yes.
And I'm extremely happy with that video. It's not done many views, but I really don't care on this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's one of the few videos I put out that I don't feel cringy when I'm watching it again afterwards. So yeah,
That's
really happy with it.
That's a win, yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, you really managed to make the boxes. I mean, interesting. When you started to say, I'm gonna do some wooden boxes, and I thought, oh yeah, yay, this is gonna be this is gonna be really boring boxes. What I thought would happen, but yeah, you made it work.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I put quite a lot of effort into it, and I was really pleased with how it looked. And you know the part in the video where I'm gluing the circuit boards in?
Yeah.
Yep, that was my No.1 Crude Mistake, because I glued all the circuit boards in, got everything assembled, turned it all on, and it didn't work.
Oh yeah.
So I had to hunt through the girls' drawers, because they were both out looking for some nail polish remover, which does weaken super glue, fortunately. And managed to get it all apart. It was just a simple case of the light barrier, I'd set the lights in too far back, so for some reason they weren't reading each other. So I just brought them both forward a little bit, and it worked again after that. So yeah, that's the only crude mistake I made on that one. But yeah, I had fun with it, and it just made me laugh when I walk past it and it goes off in the workshop.
How long does it play?
About 20 seconds, but it feels like an eternity.
That's a long time for messages.
And they actually did the girls did recordings for me, and there's probably 3 times that amount, plus some joking about. Some recorded messages on there that I was told I wasn't allowed to use as well after they'd recorded them. So.
I mean, if it's recorded, it's recorded. Can't go backsies.
Yeah, but no, all in all, a fun project. I enjoyed the edit, I enjoyed the project, and I enjoyed the finished thing.
It was good use of that electronics kits as well. I did not think that something of this caliber would emerge from that.
No.
The one thing that you're thinking, I mean, when you tested it and you get that buzzer sound, it's like, this is a shop's doorbell, isn't it? Like ding ding, like, oh, new customer. And that's been done before. When I got the project in head start out with, I was actually going to ask you guys to record for me as well, instead of the girls. But then I thought, they probably more realistically are my cheerleaders in life, so maybe I should ask them. But I think from a cringe point of view, from their point of view, I think they'd probably rather I'd asked you guys.
Well, they did it for you at least.
They did.
But that's a valid point, because it was a brilliant video and I really enjoyed it, but it had like this sour aftertaste because he didn't even ask us. I mean, I would have a blast making audio clips for that. Like,
I think he
hello
knew
there,
that.
stud muffin.
That's why he didn't.
Exactly. Then again, I mean, I have the details for his wife, so if he's away one day, she can pop in and just upload some new sounds. And fuck, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't I? It would have been so brilliant for him just to come back after a weekend away for something, and then like, oh, hello there. You thought we wouldn't find a way in this box? God damn it, why do I always have the good ideas here and then share it? I should learn how to shut up.
If you'd had that idea in the middle of the night on your own, you'd have still shared it with us tomorrow morning.
Yeah. You're a sharer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I sure have.
So what have you been up to then, KJ?
Well, I have started to try out the pewter casting silicone molds that I talked about last week, I think.
Yeah.
And it was... I'm always surprised how bad instructions are on these kind of things that you buy from like a hobby shop or something like that.
I'm always surprised when somebody says they've read the instructions.
Yeah, but you get... It's a 2-part, and you get a really big jug and a really small flask. And you wonder, I wonder how this is supposed to be mixed. And then it says, I think it said like 2 to 3% weight ratio. So that's, if you get 100 grams of the big stuff, then you need 1 to 3 grams of the small stuff.
Yeah.
And that is, and it said on the bottle that it's 20 drops, 20 droplets is 1 gram. So then, okay, I have to count like 40 drops from this little, and that, I mean, that's not fun. So I did that, and it didn't say anything about how long it takes to set. It does say you should wait 3 to 4 days before you use it, but it doesn't say that it's semi-cured in an hour or something like that. Nothing like that. And then I tried to check online. And Google's AI assistant popped up and said, yeah, you should do this, and it should be set for 3 to 4 hours. That was not the case. Never trust an AI assistant, because that was wet for at least a day, I think.
Wow.
So I thought I'd messed up the ratios, of course. But I let it sit for the full 4 days, and it cured. It cured really nicely as well. So I learned a lot from those 3 first molds I made. They were not perfect at all, but they worked.
I don't know whether I dare ask, but what have you made a mold of?
I have started making a mold, a 2-part mold of get your head out of that gutter. A Lego
Happy
brick.
Christmas, Sophie.
I don't think she want a pewter one.
I mean, what you learned in the previous episode, you can really polish it.
A Lego brick, that's exciting.
Yeah. I hope I can pull it off, because now it's time to make the other part of it. And I mean, silicone is famously good at sticking to silicone. So I hope I can make a 2-part mold that doesn't just jam up and won't open up. And then I have done 2 maker coins, you can call it, with my logo.
Okay.
Because I had some resin 3D prints of it that a friend made. So I tried that. And now I have, from what I've learned from this, I'm going to try to do some other stuff as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Do the molds last long? Do they have many multiple uses? Do you know? Or
according to the instructions that I read, they should be good for like 100 use or something like that, depending on how you use it. Because it's heat resistant up to a point. So if you do too many pours after one another, it gets too hot and that sort of thing. So, and how good the mold is made as well, and the thickness and all that.
It would be interesting to go online. Of course, you can use the old Archimedes way and figure it out yourself. But I mean, you could probably just Google it in half a second. What's the volume of standard like 2x4 Lego brick? And then you can just estimate how much would that be worth in pure gold. And then the question is, should you cast one and then just film yourself going to because there are some specialist Lego stores somewhere, and they have this, I mean, in Scandinavia you have this small candy, as we call it, where you can just go and take a small spade and you just pick some of that, and you can just film yourself dropping that one gold Lego amongst all the other yellow ones and just shake it up and try to figure out which store was it in. Am I gonna reach it in time? And then just see wherever it pops up.
A gold Lego brick would be very valuable. I would say
Aussie gold diggers on the TV, and a little piece of gold is worth thousands.
Yeah. So you can have that idea yourself.
Yeah.
Did I mention I have a Patreon?
Well, you could do your pewter one, polish it up nicely, and then just put a silver hallmark on it, KJ.
Yeah, just spray it gold. I mean, it weighs enough.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have prepared to cut and plane all the wood down for my bunk bed upgrade. But the weather has not been permitting to do outside work. And I want to do the cutting and milling outside, both because of the dust collection and that I don't have workspace to actually juggle 2-meter boards inside in a good way. Because there's been a lot of time stealers at the moment. Both my day job and then that extended family have had a nerve to have birthdays that you have to celebrate, and having accidents and going to hospital and that sort of thing. I mean, so rude. And
have you had an accident and gone to hospital?
No, my mom fell down, and I mean that's the hard thing with being a cyborg at 86. That when you fall down, your replaced hips are the strongest part of your body, so they would shatter your bones around them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but she's getting better. But yeah, it's fun times all around.
Oh dear.
And then also I had a request to both translate and record an audio children's book as well. So it's been a lot on my plate at the moment.
How did you find it? Did you enjoy doing that, KJ?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. How long did it take you?
Uh, the translation took longer than I thought it would, and then Sophie got really interested as well. And
Oh dear.
yeah,
Okay, I forgot about this project, and it's funny you should say that. Um, because when I wrote the script, it was obviously for our children's book, and when you're reading it, it sounds okay. But once I started reading it out loud and cutting it together, and now I got the audio clips from you, Glenn, first, and started to cutting it in, it's like there are some of the transition that, I mean, it makes sense on a book because you read it and then you spend a couple of seconds turning the page, which kind of resets you into a new scene. But in the video, it changes really fast, and you kind of expect the audio track to be continuous, and then it doesn't make sense with these small changes.
Right.
And for at least a couple of the clips, you added a word to the text in the next one to make it more seem like a good transition, and that would probably have been an input from my side, that this is the text, this is the story, but don't follow it as it is written. Just read it a couple of times, and then you know what's going to be
Okay.
said, and you just tell it as you wanted to tell it, because I read books differently out loud than my wife does, and of course you do as well, because it's just the way you read and speak. And for it to be most natural, it should be the way that you speak, and then it's very
Right.
easy to go back and tweak the manuscript afterwards, because it's not a very text-heavy manuscript.
No, no.
And
Oh,
then
that's
of course,
funny. That is.
yeah,
It's funny you say that because I had to, when I did record it, I had to re-record a few bits over a couple of times because there was nothing wrong with the English the way you'd done it. It just wasn't the way I put English together, the way I
yeah.
speak.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
because
get that.
this is English written by a Norwegian, and I mean, I don't see it because that's the way I talk. But yeah, but I haven't listened to KJ's input yet, so that's going to be fun after this recording.
Yeah, I took some liberties in the translation, but also because I mean there were differences between the Norwegian and the English one. So
Yeah,
I took the cherries off from the cake. What do you say? I cherry
Right.
picked a bit and and took some liberties. So yeah,
yeah,
you might hate me for it,
and that
or you
being
might
said, though,
redo the Norwegian one after it.
yeah, but that's the thing, though. Any Norwegian who listen to the Swedish version, we're gonna have extremely high expectations, because we've been bottle fed Astrid Lindgren since we were born. And then we had the Anne-Kat. Vestli here in Norway. It's just like the equal. It's the two big Scandinavian writers, and we've been bottle fed that, and everything is getting compared to those two. And yeah, that those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So I'd rather
So
not you compared me to Astrid Lindgren, please.
yeah, and then the thing is, though, I struggle not getting the perfectionist in me, because of course I've been looking at, I tried some AI functionality. I don't want to use AI, so I went on to Audio Jungle, which I previously used to buy some audio clips and some music. And of course, the opening scene in the forest, you need some bird chirping and so on. So I think throughout the video, I should probably buy 10, 15 different audio clips to use, like the crackling fireplace and so on, which will make each transition better. But then, of course, in the scenes where they are going from the outdoor to the indoor and they're walking on the floor, then I thought, I always wanted to try being a Foley artist. So should I then just go up, because I have the microphone I use on me, so I can just put that down and just like walk barefoot and stomp my feet to make something, and then should I just pling the glass? Should I put some nuts and bolts in a bowl when the candy scene is there? And then, of course,
Yes, definitely.
And then there's 2 months to Skaper Festival. I mean, if I don't do all that, I could basically just slap the audio on it and upload it and be done with it.
No, I mean this is better for Christmas anyway. So save it to after Scalpers, and I mean, of course, should do your own Foley. And if you need bird sounds, just go back and take whatever Glenn parts from this recording when he's not speaking. Then you got birds galore.
When he's out to the loo, we have a good 5 minutes of just birds.
Or whenever you're talking and he's just listening, you might get a chuckling old man in the background. But
well, that's the old sunshine.
Yeah, I think we should redo a couple of scenes. Like when Bats is not reading books, he likes to listen to podcasts, and then we have the background track for that. So. Of course, he has his favorite, but Bats is too good to not tell anyone. And that, yeah.
No, as you're well aware, I added some bits not for the kids' book in my recording, but it was so hard not doing the whole thing.
I laughed my arse off because it is so brilliant, because I had that idea myself. Once I've asked everyone and they got their version, and that's uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to upload one that's not shared, and that's going to be the X-rated version. And then, of course, Batsy likes his candy laced with cocaine. And then, of course, take it from there and go full Scarface on the entire thing. And that would be a blast, of course, after a bottle of wine, obviously. And but the best thing about your clips, though, it's the small, like, at the end, because you thought it's so funny yourself. Yeah.
But thinking of the podcast thing, I just got a mental image of the three of them sitting on the sofa, sharing one pair of headphones with Betsy in the middle, just having the other two listen to his favorite podcast.
Yeah, that's
a rather nice image.
Yeah, if I had that idea before I drew up the line drawings again, I would for sure do it. I'm not doing it now. And
no, yeah, everyone can have it in their mind's eye or something like that.
And I did I sent you both the script, but you were too busy that evening, and that's good, because I had to go back and change it, because in the one scene, Batsy likes to dress up, and his mother is not very happy with him using the cork of a tequila bottle. And then I'm pretty sure if I uploaded this on YouTube and like press the button, yes, this is acceptable for kids, the first parent who saw that and no, we don't like tequila mentioned in our children's, and then they would flag it, and then I would have issues. So I just took it out. And of course, if someone is going to flag it anyway, I put in a rainbow colored flag there at some point as well. So yeah, someone is going to have a hissy fit. So
I don't.
No, I didn't.
Dare...
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think YouTube dare take your video down for that.
No, not for that, but the tequila bottle, I could very much see them removing.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're because you're also like, yeah, I'm not promoting guns and ammo or drinking or alcohol or anything, and casually mentioning a tequila bottle in a children's cartoon, I see someone might flag that.
When mommy and daddy are sleeping, he likes to use the tequila bottle cap to dress up and just having it plastered on the sofa behind him.
Yeah. When mommy and daddy locks the door after dinner to have a nap.
Yeah. A noisy nap.
A noisy nap. Patsy's parents are very religious. Every day they go into the room and his mother says, oh God, I'm coming. Like, yeah. Yeah, now we should do X-rated version for sure.
Yeah, I think you should get Tim to record it. I think his accent would be brilliant for the Batsy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I really want a different accents now. So I mean, and this of course can go over time because you can't dump all the videos out there. So if you have the the English, the Glen version, and then you have the Swedish and the Norwegian. I can drop those three, and then you have a video to show to people. So then you could go to, you could go to Ross, you could go to Tim, you could go to Fix It Fingers. I mean, you can get all the accents. I also thinking about Mellow Labs could do the Polish version.
He admitted on the podcast though he actually has forgotten how to speak a lot of the Polish words, hasn't he? So
yeah, so then this is the perfect opportunity then to get back in the saddle. But that's the problem though, because I know a lot of people talking different languages, but they need to have the recording set up for it. So they basically need to be YouTubers.
And the voice, the ability to read a story.
Yeah, they need to be able to read.
Because my father-in-law is very much a technical guy. I mean, he has a doctorate in theoretical physics, and when he reads for the kids, it's not the material for an audiobook. I can tell you that it's very much reading a manual for a VCR or something like that. So yeah, it is. You do need some skills as well.
I don't think I'm many steps above that.
But that would be a very quick video, though. I mean, you set up a different channel, and then on that channel, you just read user manuals as like a weird ASMR channel. Like, today, we're going to read the instruction manual for the Sony VCR X-2 1982 edition.
I'll tell you something, I'd rather have a manual read to me than reading one myself, so that'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
But it's just being able to skip to the part that you want to know, isn't it, rather than go through the whole manual.
The question is then, I mean, it's only audio, so I mean, you don't get the pictures, and is the text enough to understand? It's like me doing the Haynes workshop manual for how to change the carburetor on your Ford Escort. Then you pull the blue thingy from the... Wait, this is black and white. And then if you have the 75 model and not the 72, then you need to pull that flat thingy bobby, Mac, whatnot. So yeah, it would be an interesting read for sure.
What I hope is that you also read it from cover to cover. So this is the English version. Well, this is the Norwegian version. This is the Finnish version. This is the Polish version. This is the Russian version, and so on and so on. Harder and harder to understand. Yeah, we probably get a lot of views.
Yeah.
It sounds more like a podcast now that you mention it.
Yeah, or you could do a video reading. I see some of the authors, when they like publish a book, they have like public reading sessions. So you can have a YouTube video where you actually read the manual and then just sit. Ooh, what's the guy who played the head of the Lannister family in Game of Thrones? He's a classical.
Yeah.
And every Christmas he reads a classical book, if it's Harry Potter or something, and then he reads this in his very sinister voice, sitting at a very like Chesterfield the living room and crackling fireplace, very Christmassy, and then he just reads. That would be cool though for like the manual reading. You're just sitting there in front of the fireplace and then a bottle of wine, and I mean it takes a couple of hours to read through it, so you're gonna get sloshed at the end. So it's gonna be very interesting.
Selling it as manual reading is going to be confusing, isn't it? It's like, is there any other way? Is there a way to automatically read?
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of YouTube, we have all been in a YouTube video as well at the same time, or after each other, so to say. And it's not any of our videos.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the royalty check in the mail. So I'm just sitting at our post box and just like, when's the postman coming?
I think we're not going to get that royalty check because I think Ross has just discovered the curse of having us in one of his videos. It's not done the views that it's been used to just lately. Sorry, Ross.
Yeah,
It was a cracking video,
yeah.
though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's bloody good fun.
Yeah, some good humour in that one.
Yeah, and it actually had some suspense as well, and some real drama.
Some real Swedish postal service drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know what you're gonna get when you mess with those. So yeah, kind of forced, but still, it was nice. And it is fun when someone asks you to film yourself doing something and you don't really know how it's gonna be used and that sort of thing.
But I mean, it was so fun that maybe, I mean, for a week or two, we can sponsor his episodes. Then he'll have to plug us even more.
Is this some downward spiral feeding itself into oblivion? Yeah, that sounds good.
There was a week not so long ago, I think, where we all released a video, and I think I actually managed to get in 3 videos that weekend and only published 1 myself. That was a good weekend.
Yeah.
Did you feel seen enough?
Yeah, I did. Well, if anybody had actually watched any of the videos, then yes, I would have.
Yeah, it's that bit as well. Yeah, I've been wondering that lately. That we all, I mean, we're not fresh YouTubers anymore. We've been at it for a couple of years, and and we've not had great success. So is that what YouTube is knowing us to be? Just not worth the effort? Because so far we haven't. Would you do better with a totally new channel and just?
Well, I have thought about that recently, actually, but the problem is YouTube keeps throwing me the odd bone. So they've not massive views, but I've had a 50,000 view video, and I've had a couple of videos that have done over 15,000 as well. So I just keep getting that odd bone that just keeps me at it on this channel.
I mean, what we've discussed this before, and once you set up a YouTube channel, you get all the statistics in the world. I mean, you can lose yourself in all the statistics, and guess all the statistics YouTube have at their end. They will probably have very specific numbers for a YouTuber with 4,000 subscribers. If we can channel enough views to his videos to this number, that is the point that makes him continue. And then, of course, they probably have the lowest threshold to not lose people generating content. But of course, they can't boost everyone because then nobody would get showcased. So you're still given that bonus, you say, while you're chasing that break where enough people see you. But it is demotivating when you see. I think the last couple of months, I've seen YouTubers that is in the hundreds of thousands, like 200,000 or 300,000 subscribers, which is substantial, and they have sponsorships and everything, and they're like, yeah, the last videos is flat. I'm not seeing any growth, and the revenue are getting smaller and smaller. So you've have some YouTubers that actually been living off of it now. Like I'm struggling to have the ends meet the last year. So I'm thinking, is this the it? Because I need to go and get a proper job. And these are people who are doing proper good productions. I mean, the light setup is perfect. The narration, the script, everything. And it's nope, doesn't matter how good they do it. They never.
Yeah.
And then you see all the crappy AI stuff getting millions of views, and there's not a human involved. So it's, yeah.
But at the same time, it is kind of weird that making a living out of your pastime, being a content creator, it feels like something that people take for granted that they should be. And I mean, in history and nowadays, most artists don't, most writers, most sport people. I mean, most of the people doing the Olympics, they don't do that full time. They have a day job to actually pay the bills. So why should we be something special?
Yeah. I was thinking about the figures a little bit differently today. So Colin Furz's latest video, I think Colin's got about 11 million subscribers.
Something like that. perhaps.
And of his latest videos had 2 million views. So that's 9 million of his subscribers haven't watched his video, which made me feel good because my latest video, I only had 1,000 of my subscribers that didn't watch.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Just got to think about things differently. You're not doing too bad, actually.
There's always a way to twist the statistics in your favor. Yeah.
So where would you like to be with YouTube, ideally? I mean, would you like to be a Colin Firth with 11 million subscribers? Because I wouldn't.
No.
But I would like to earn something from YouTube. I think that would be nice. Not a full wage, but just some free crap or a little bit of money. I think would be nice to put towards your hobby, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go full time.
I'd quite happily do it. Yeah,
I mean, it's yeah. Go on.
I was just about to say it's all the side stuff that you have to do as well, like doing all the podcasts, doing all the public appearances and things like that. That is not something I would like to do. I would hate to get up on stage and have to talk to people for half an hour. Just me on stage at Maker Central, for instance. I would not enjoy stuff like that.
I mean, if I could do it without leaving my house, I mean, I like to talk. That being said, though, I think there are a couple of thresholds. It would be nice to reach to the level where, when you could break even with buying tools and equipment and whatnot. And then, of course, the next step, if you could pass the threshold where you could do it full time. Because then you have what they call fuck you money. Because if anyone asks something of you, I like, fuck you, I don't have to, I'm my own boss. But that second threshold, as we discussed earlier as well, then that's your family suddenly depends on that making money, so you can pay your mortgage and put food on the table, and that's going to take the joy out of it, because you can't have a month hiatus and then just suddenly post the 2 leather bellow videos at mediocre results. So yeah, you have to
eat at the same time.
Yeah. So then I should fully go into the cooking channel bit then, because then you can of course write off the ingredients, but then you have something to eat afterwards.
Just having a cooking channel, just you making your dinner.
Today, carrots and potatoes.
If it's all purely about writing off expenses, then you need a travel channel, surely. to do a travel vlog in the Bahamas or something like that, and then be able to write that cost off.
But that's the funny thing, though. I've had a company now for 2 years, and as I said earlier, it's basically just to keep the family name, because if I don't have that company registered, someone else could just register it, and I have to pay a fee to challenge that because it's a protected name. So now I have a company, but I'm not using it for anything. So you have to pay for the fees to have a bank account and so on. So it basically goes 100 to 200 pounds minus every year, just because of the bank fees and whatnot. And then I thought, this year I'm going to break even. So every third month I send an invoice from my company to me as a private person for video editing services. And I'm just going to match those invoices up. So when I'm doing the yearly summary of the expenses, I'm going to break even. So yeah, this is going to be a good year. Because as long as you just break even, you don't have to pay taxes, because that you just only pay that on the money you make. So as long as I keep my expenses low, I should be in the clear.
This more or less sounded like you invoicing yourself for being lazy and not making real money in the business.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. That is interesting that you're putting in. We talked about this. I mean, you're doing a side hustle, quite many hours on YouTube. I mean, if you spent that hours doing a side
Yeah.
hustle, you could actually make money off your company. But no, you're chosen to spend a lot of hours for a job that doesn't pay, and then you invoice yourself just like bogus to pretend to break even. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, I mean, stop listening, Michelle, if you're listening to this. But I mean, if I spent all the hours just doing my regular job that I put on YouTube, we'd probably be a lot better off.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she knows, but would you really though? You would be a miserable prick to live with, I'm guessing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
I think she has a Venn diagram or something like how many hours do we need Glenn to work, and then how little do we need to work to be sufferable.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the calculations recently for
Yeah, of course you have.
for working less, by just going down to working like 85% or something like that. Okay, what is that in real money? Okay, what will that cost me?
Yeah, because we discussed that
every year?
earlier,
What does an hour in the workshop cost me if I don't work? Instead, I go have playtime. And then, it gets expensive, and you're trying to find something that can pay for that. I mean, that's never ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I did that as well, just as a mental exercise. I mean, how much would an hour in the workshop cost me? And yeah, that's you don't want to think too much about that. But I do like the discussion that we had. Like, once you come to a certain threshold, every pay increase, you lose a lot of that to taxes because you get into a tax bracket. I'm not sure where it is in Sweden versus Norway, but at some point it would be real fun to see, instead of taking that money, I just want you to reduce the percentages, and then you have, I think the Norwegian tax directorate, they have an online calculator where you put in, if you earn this much a year, you have to pay this much in taxes, and then you can easily just downsize your percentage to, like, all right, if I go down to 80, yes, you earn less money, but you pay less in taxes, and they also take into account the different tax brackets, so you can see what is the real loss for, instead of taking a pay raise, you just take a percentage cut in the hours you work every week.
Yeah. I've actually had exactly this conversation with my boss, and he's okay with me doing it. So now it's just for me to deciding what level to put myself at and actually pulling that trigger. Yeah. I said I'm going to do it this year, so I still have a couple of months to decide.
Yeah, because that's the thing, though. Me and my wife, we follow a very simple principle. We just take half of what we earn every month and we put it into a joint bank account, and then if she earns more than me, then she contributes more, and that evens out. But that means I can basically reduce my hours down to the point where I don't have the part that I can spend on the fun things in the workshop. So I think if I don't buy as much tools, which I basically don't need, if we're honest, I could probably drop down to a 4-day week. I thought a lot about that after Glenn said, yeah, I've basically been working a 4-day week for years, and like, yeah, that's basically cutting it to 80%. And the last company I worked at, they had a downsizing when the market crashed, and they offered 80% to everybody who wanted to. And at that point, I was just fresh out of school, so no, I want to make as much money as I can. But now, I could go down to 80% and have a day off. Then it starts to get interesting, because then you have that one day, full day in the workshop. So, yeah.
Well, if you're anything like me, you probably won't utilise it. Because that's what happens when you actually get the time. You don't
sleep until 11, and then suddenly it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and what the fuck happened? And oh no, I need to get the kids, and got nothing done. So,
on that note, I think we'll call this episode. What should we call it? We'll call it the end. Head over to the half pint. I could feel the right words then.
That sounds a bit dark, calling it the end.
The end.
The end of this episode. Let's head
that's
over to
better.
the half
That's better.
pint. Sorry, I
Yes,
couldn't find the right words.
And the half pint
All
is
right.
just more of this, but on another day.
Exactly.
For everyone who doesn't
Not
know
for us.
or doesn't listen to it.
Let's mosey on, and I'll give you the latest news on what does a Lego gold brick cost.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.